like some people would say, "Oh, I don't use I didn't use calorie deficit for my own weight
But
loss."
that's
So
what
how
you
did
did.
you lose
That's the
weight?
only
That's
way you
the
can.
only
The
way,
only way you
right?
can lose weight
Yeah.
is to be in it. Hi everyone, welcome back to First Rep. I'm Dotun.
And I'm Raleigh. Hi, welcome back.
We hope you had a good week. I hope you took some of the advice we dropped in our last episode and you used them. It's a week, so maybe you've not started seeing results, but it's also possible you've started seeing results.
It's 2 weeks actually.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. So if you've taken some of the advice we dropped, you should be seeing some differences. You should be seeing some results.
Something, anything, no matter how small, just your pants couldn't button and they just button just a little bit. It's still tight, but it can at least button. So anything, just drop it in the comment section. Let us know how it's going, and
we'll be there for you. We'll be there for you. So how was your week? How did you? Not did you work out? How many times did you work out this week?
Because I always work out.
Yeah.
No matter what's happening, even if my life is imploding, I have to work out.
Yeah.
But I did 4 times this week, including today. So 4 times.
Was there some cardio in there? Or
There's actually always cardio. I try to incorporate something small, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just get your heart pumping. I really just run around my living room for 20 minutes every day, and I count it as cardio. And I think my watch counts it as cardio too, because my cardio markers are improving, I would say. So how was your week?
Not so bad.
2 weeks actually.
Not so bad. Not so bad. Work is always after my life, but I stand tall. Worked out 4 times a week. Okay. Unlike you, I'm not a cardio person every day, although I try to take walks every day. Just get some few steps.
That is cardio, by the way. Yeah. You shouldn't say, "Oh, I just walk, I don't do cardio." That's cardio.
Yeah. What level? I think there are like different levels. I think maybe it's like there's a level of cardio it is where you can still communicate, and then there's HIIT cardio or something.
Yes.
So I do like the low pace cardio.
Like zones.
Zone 2 cardio, yeah. So I just take walks, and now I'm seeing gains. So
I mean,
gains.
I would let you guys be the judge.
Hopefully I get buff on this podcast so that you guys can see my starting point and then my present point at a future state.
Actually,
and then
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Like we didn't want to we could have come to you guys looking ripped, but we didn't, okay?
Yeah.
We intentionally are not ripped.
We planned not to be ripped to start this show. And then you guys will see us get ripped on the show. That's the plan. That was the plan.
Like we absolutely had it under control, but we intentionally derailed ourselves just for you guys.
Yes, so just for you guys. So.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But we hope for you to see us, physically, like improve our body, stature, everything, just improve. Same, and we hope that the same thing is happening for you guys as well. So it's not something that you're just like, okay, these people are, they have like the perfect body. It's easy for them to say. So we intentionally do not have the perfect body.
Exactly. Okay? So we're in this together. That's why I say if you have any questions, we're here for you, because we're going through it the way you're going through it. We're basically we have the same journeys. So.
And there's a reason it's called a journey. It's like you keep going. I don't think there's ever a time that you're like, okay, I'm now there.
Yeah.
Because even if you do get there, you're gonna need to maintain what you have, which is a huge thing that we will talk, so much more about. Maybe a little bit on this episode, but in subsequent episodes, like you would realize that getting fit is like one thing, but staying fit is
a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
So let's get into it. What are we talking about today?
Okay, getting straight into it. We are in fact talking about weight loss. Oof. Yay, the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's what most people do, or that's how most people start their fitness journey. They want to lose weight. People want to lose weight. So that's the big one. Yeah, I'm excited. I think we would give you guys some very reasonable things.
It's it's giving biology lesson vibes for me. It feels like when I was when we were looking into the content, it really just felt like it was a huge teaching. Hopefully, it doesn't come across as too technical. We will try to break it down, but um, if you do have questions, feel free to ask. There's no silly question when it comes to something that you're trying to learn. We all learned it as well. We did some research and we are where we are. So
Yeah. So I guess what is weight loss? Like is weight loss is just, today I weigh 50 kg and I want to weigh 40 kg by next March.
mhm.
The process or everything I do in that period to lose 20
Wait.
kg by March
Mhm.
is that weight loss? Is that how you describe what weight loss is?
I would
Is it or
say
is it okay, I guess I should put it in different ways.
okay.
Is weight loss today I go on the scale
Mhm.
and I weigh 100 pounds,
Mhm.
and tomorrow I go on the scale
Mhm.
and I weigh 90 pounds.
Right.
Is that what weight loss is?
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it. Weight loss is, in a little bit of technical terms, is just your body's way of, it's what happens when your body, uses up more energy than it receives. So your body is basically burning more energy than what you're giving it. And in this case, how you give your body energy is by food. So if your body is burning more energy than is coming from the food you're eating, you're basically going to lose weight. And weight loss is really just a decrease in weight. It doesn't matter, like in the sense of weight loss, there's no specific thing that you say, oh, it's just fat or it's just this. It really just is a decrease in general weight. Yeah.
So, like you mentioned fat, there's another popular term that people say that where they say fat loss.
Mm-hmm.
How does weight loss differ from fat loss, and is one better than the other? Is there one approach? If this is your part,
Mm-hmm.
do you get to a T junction and then this is weight loss and then
And
this is
then
fat loss?
yeah.
And if there is, which path should I follow?
Mhm.
Should I go on the weight loss path? Should I go on the fat loss
Yeah.
path?
Okay, so as I said, weight loss in itself is just a decrease in weight, right? But then when you start to go get into it, um, weight loss does involve, like, look at your body as like a a whole thing, right? It comprises of like muscle, fats, bones, even your blood. Like that's what gives it
That's
its
what makes
weight.
up your weight. Yeah.
Yeah. When you stand on the scale, that's what gives you that number. Everything, put together. Now, when you're talking weight loss in the context of actually losing fat, you're not going to intentionally lose blood or bone mass,
Yeah.
but you can intentionally or unintentionally lose fat and muscle mass, right? So, to your question that which is better, definitely I would say, we should all aim to lose fat. Fat loss should always be the goal. Like, try as much as possible to lose fat. That is the, in quote, bad part of the weight. That's what you don't want your body to hold on to. Your body needs its muscle, it needs its blood, it
Yeah.
needs its bone, most def, but it doesn't need as much fat
Yeah.
as a lot of us hold on to. So basically the whole process in its entirety that we would be discussing when it comes to losing weight is mainly losing fat. So you would hear us use the term fat
Fat loss.
loss a
Yeah.
lot, and it just means weight loss, but the right term should be fat loss. You shouldn't be working towards losing muscle for any reason.
Yeah. So I like everything you said. I think I couldn't have said it better. I think a lot of people when this process starts, when you have that light bulb moment and you're like, I need to lose weight,
When you
or
stand in front of the
yes,
mirror and you're
yes,
just like, am I proud? Am I?
am
And
I
you look at your
proud?
stomach and you're like, am I proud of my stomach? Yeah,
Is
that
this for
moment.
me or two other people? And then you realize I need to do something. I need to lose weight. This is where it gets murky, like a lot of people, me myself, the moment your next step or the first thing you think about is, I need to exercise. I need to
True.
go to the gym.
True.
I need to start running. I need to start doing 5K every day. I need to do push-ups. I need to
I wish.
if that's what you've done in the past, or if that's what you do, I'm happy to tell you that you are wrong. Like that is not the approach you should take. That is
Absolutely not.
exercise is I would say maybe 10%
Yeah.
of what you need to do to
Yeah.
lose weight. There are a lot of factors that you need to consider when you want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Exercise, I would say, is 10%. Your rest, your recovery, I would say, is another 10%. 80% of what you need to do to lose weight is your diet, the food
Yep.
you take.
Yep.
And this brings us to calories.
What do we mean by calories? Calories is what you use to basically measure the amount of energy that comes from food.
Yeah.
So if a certain amount of energy is broken down from is gotten from this food, when it's broken down, it's called like it is measured in calories. So everybody, like every human being, has a certain number of calories that their body needs to maintain its normal process.
Yeah, to sleep, to think, to walk. You have a daily calorie requirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your body would need that amount of calories. Like whether or not if you do eat, it will take it from your food. If you do not eat, it will take it from either your fat reserve or your muscle mass. But it would take what it needs basically.
Yeah.
So when we say calories, it's very important for you to know about your calories, because your weight loss, fat loss in specific, will come from the varying amounts of calories.
I would say everything comes from your calories. Like when you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to gain weight, you're trying to maintain your weight. Calories is like the backbone of everything.
It's key.
And to your weight.
I know you're like, oh, we're always hearing these calories, this, calories. That you hear it because it is very important. If you do not learn anything else, you have to learn about calories. It was, I would say before now, it wasn't as important because the types of food they were eating, especially like back in the days, and I mean way back, the types of foods they were eating weren't heavy in terms of calories. So you didn't need to really know what it was. You didn't need to measure it, right? But now we've gotten to a point where, and I'll break this down. Before, the foods that were being eaten, the number of calories would match the way it looked.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So, for example, somebody ate a chicken, like you ate one whole chicken, or let's say you ate goat meat or something. The amount of calories in that goat meat or in that chicken would look like the amount of if someone shows you 1,000 calories worth of goat meat, it would look like 1,000 calories, because 1,000 is a big number, right? In every sense, calories as well. So 1,000, if you see 1,000 calorie worth of meat or food, it would look like it, and that's how it used to happen before. But now we have foods that are 1,000 calories that do not look like 1,000 calories. Like you can have
a donut, a very nice donut.
That's a fantastic example.
And it's 1,000 calories.
Yeah, it can be a big donut. It can be just maybe 2 or 3, and you're looking, oh, this is just a little. Like it's a snack.
Yeah.
A muffin, literally one muffin is 500. I've seen a 500 calorie muffin, and a muffin is just like a little cupcake, just this small. So when you have 2 of those, you've had 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
It wasn't a thing before.
Meanwhile, you are snacking.
You're snacking. So you can see why we now need to know. So, it's a very valid question when I have conversations with older people and they're like, oh, we didn't know anything about calories before. Why do we need to know it now? Well, we need to know it now because that's the world we live in. Mm-hmm. They have, the process of processing food has made them, they found a way basically to squeeze in high calorie into a small quantity.
And there's way more access to high calorie dense food than there used to be ever in the world.
Yeah.
Right now there's access to, and they're also tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Food that are heavy in calories, they taste good.
Very good.
It tastes good.
I think a lot of effort was put into it actually tasting good. Like you would see something, a processed food, where you just buy a little bit of it. Like a muffin tastes great.
Fantastic.
Like,
A
what are you
donut
talking about?
tastes.
Donut glazed, it tastes very good.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they want you to it to taste good, and they want you to easily, consume that. So you're able to buy more of this, and it's more money. If you look like at the bigger picture, it is more money, because if you are eating things that are, high volume, high calorie, how many would you really buy? If you're going to eat, let's say, goat meat for the week, there's only a certain quantity you can buy. But if you're eating donuts that are very nice, it can be like a lot of people will buy a lot of it, and
Yeah.
before you know what's happening, a lot of money is being spent. So I would say that's the big difference, and that's what you always need to consider if you're thinking, oh, why do I need to learn about it now? You absolutely need to learn about it. Like, that's where we're at. But then, going into it, how do you count your calories? How do you figure out, oh, how many calories are in this thing? I would group it into two. The first one is packaged foods. So if you have foods that are packaged in anything, I know a lot of people might not have, like, might just have never taken time to check the back. But the first step is to check the back of that item or food. Look, what does it say? You would see somewhere that says calories, and it will say a number like 200 calories, 300 calories. It would always be there.
Specific amount
Now,
of gram.
yeah, you always have to, take into consideration per what. Is it per 100 mil? Is it per 100 grams? It would say the number of calories. Don't assume, which is a big misconception. People assume that when you see 200 calories, it means, the whole bottle is 200. It is, sometimes it is.
Yeah, it will be written on it if it is, right?
It would say, it will either say maybe in 1/4 of this container, or it will just say the amount in grams. So something you can do is to say, if you have 200 calories in 100 grams of this food, then you check the whole container of that item and say, let's say yogurt, for example, like Greek yogurt. It says, I think the one we usually have, which Dotson has always roasted me about, I always take 0% yogurt. He doesn't feel like you need.
I think,
like, he said life is not that difficult.
Yeah, it's not that hard. 2% is fine. If you at least 2% is okay. You don't need to go as far as 0%. It's not, the difference in taste is not worth it. It's not worth it.
Agree to disagree, okay? But 175 grams of that, my 0% yogurt is 140 calories, but the whole tub is 750 grams. So I don't expect that, the whole tub of yogurt should be 140 because they just wrote 140. No. Now I have to do a little bit of math. I mean, you can even give.
Yeah, and if you don't want to do math, you can be like me. I have cups in my house, and then I have a weighing scale. So if they say it's 140 calories per 3/4 cup, or per 2/4 cup, I have cups that ranges from 1/4 to 1/2 to 3/4 to 1 cup. Yeah. So you can visually just scoop it in. Once you fill that cup, you know your measurement, and then you know your calories. Yeah. And if it's in grams, then you put it on your scale, you weigh it, and then you don't need to do as much math. You just put it there.
Your first investment should be a food scale. Like, get a food scale. It's small. They are not too expensive, I would say. So you're even able to know quantity, because usually they would write how many calories per grams. So you have to know the size of what you're even eating. Is this 100 grams? Like rice, for example, you can weigh that maybe in cups. They would say how many calories per maybe half cup or 1/4 cup. And usually what they write on the body is when it's raw. Yeah. So the weight of a food is different when it's raw versus when it's cooked. Yeah. If you cook a cup of rice and then you have the same rice that you cooked uncooked, they would weigh different, because now the cooked one has absorbed maybe some liquid, water, whatever it is you use to cook it. So you should also take that into consideration. So I would say, get into the habit of reading labels always. And the second part of it is items that are not packed. Let's say beans, yam, plantain, stuff like that, potatoes. So those, the best place to check would be online. Just Google it. How many calories are in, let's say, 100 grams of potatoes? you can put a specific type of potatoes or
yeah.
maybe beans or something like that, and then you weigh. So if you know what 100 grams of beans is in terms of calories, you can check how many grams of beans am I eating today, right? And then you weigh it, and you can do the maths to figure out, oh, this is the amount of calories in this food.
I think we are actually one step ahead. I think first you need to know the amount of calories you need to survive, like the amount of calories your body needs
In a
every
day.
day. Then once you figure that out, then you can now figure out the amount of calories you should ingest or to take,
To eat
right?
every
Is
day.
that
Yeah. I mean, yes, I think you are right in that sense. So since we know like how you get in calories and what they even actually mean and how you're able to measure them, then you now ask yourself, okay, what goal are you trying to achieve in a day? Like how many calories am I going for? But I think a good place to start would be how many calories do you even eat currently? Because when it comes to daily requirements for calories, it's not a one size fits all. It's like it's unique for everybody basically. So
can
and
I
it depends.
can I ask a question? Or let me ask you a question. Is it safe to say that if you are overweight, you are consuming more calories than you need? Is
That is
that a
true.
blanket statement that is correct?
It's accurate. Unfortunately, it's true. There's no other way to put it. If you are, if you're heavier than you should be, it just means that you're eating too many calories.
Yeah.
And it might not be as direct. So it might not be that you're eating calories in terms of volume. It might just be that you're eating the wrong things. So you
Yeah.
know how we talked in the beginning and we're like, oh, you can have a donut or a
Yeah.
muffin that is 500 calories. Imagine someone that doesn't eat a lot of like food
Like a
in
lot of
terms of
volume on your
like
plate. Yeah.
and they prefer snacking, right? So they have a donut here, some muffin here, just and then maybe a cup of coffee, and then they go out, you know, and that's just their flow. Let's say they're busy, they don't have time, or you just like sweet things, right? You just eat those things, and then you're like, okay, I would have some real food later, and then you have your real food in quotes, you know. The fact that you ate that little thing doesn't mean that your body didn't count it. Your
Yeah.
body doesn't care that it was a small
That was right.
volume,
Yeah.
It will count it as the number of calories that is actually present in that food. So we always have to remember that. So if you are overweight, it might mean that you're eating some of these small looking things, but in reality,
It's calorie
they
dense.
are very calorie dense, right? They are heavy, and you have quickly maxed out your calorie requirement in a day. So back to the calorie requirement question, it depends on your size, really. The bigger you are, the more calories your body requires to maintain itself every day. The smaller you are, the less it needs, and it also hugely depends on your muscle mass, which is why, if you've heard a lot of people talk about building muscle, the reason is that if you have much more muscle mass, you would have a higher daily calorie requirement than someone that has less muscle mass but more visible fat. So you can see someone that looks slim and they have a lot of muscle mass. So when you see them, you do not even know they have a lot of muscle mass, right? But their body knows that, and their body would require so much more calories. So someone like that might need even up to 3,000 calories per day to maintain their look, even though it's a slim look.
Yeah.
And then someone that is much bigger might need maybe same 3,000, by the way, but they look, dramatically different because even if it's fat you're carrying, you still need calories to maintain that fat. The only difference is the amount of calories you need to maintain 1 gram of fat versus 1 gram of muscle are very
Vastly
different.
different.
That's
Vastly
it.
different.
That's it.
So what's the easiest way to know your calorie requirements? Is it as easy as just going into Google and say, 200 pounds and 5'8"? What is my calorie requirement?
Pretty much.
Right?
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
so
right? There are some apps online that would tell you, your calorie
calorie
requirement, and
calculators. Yeah.
sometimes you just input it in Google. But usually they ask for maybe your current weight. They ask for your height. Usually it's weight and height. I don't remember any other
It's
factor.
usually weight and height.
Yeah,
And then
weight
maybe
and
your
height.
age.
Yes. And then another thing, they would ask for your activity level.
Yeah, your activity
So that
level.
also varies, right? If I run 5 kilometers a day and you do not run 5 kilometers a day, but let's say we have exact same requirement, it would change based on your activity level. Because now I would need to compensate for that 5K that I run, when you would just need to maintain what you already have, right? So calorie in versus calorie out would always happen in your body, right? So it would just depend on you to allocate what to what. That's how I'll put it.
This is why we all have a friend that we say, this guy is slim, or this girl is slim, and she dey chop.
Yep.
She hits,
like no matter what they eat, they're still slim.
Well, it's because their requirement is
very different from yours.
Exactly. Or maybe they by the nature of the work that they do, they are physically active. Yes, they don't exercise, they don't, but just by the nature of the work they do or what they are into, maybe, they're like an event planner and they're always walking they're around. Always climbing this, they are burning calories daily.
Or they do physical labor. And then you do a desk job.
Yes.
And then, but both of you are eating the same thing, right? And you expect that, why am I adding weight on the same food that this person is adding? But then that person, you don't move around a lot. Like even you don't need to do an actual exercise in terms of like running or weightlifting to burn calories. Even just moving around, like regular activity. Even as I'm moving my hand, it takes calories to move. Like it burns, energy to do that, right? So it really depends on how active your body is, aside your muscle mass.
Yeah,
you understand. So, I think you should always know, first of all, what calories you're ingesting. Like how many am I even, like where you need to really start is ask yourself, how many do I take in at this moment?
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to get fit. Let's say you feel like you're overweight or you're just trying to change how you look. You always have to go to the drawing board, which is always your food, and ask, what am I eating right now? Exactly. How many calories am I consuming? And what do I need to be consuming? So when you get that number from Google, your daily requirement, you should have that on one side. So let's say Google tells you, you should be eating 2,500 per day, 2,500 calories to maintain
the way you
look. Then you go to counting. Just pick 2-3 days, which is like an average day in your life, and count. When you have breakfast, weigh it, check how many calories in it. Sometimes, let's even say when you were cooking, you didn't even cook that food. Just check. Let's say you had jollof rice and chicken. Check on Google how many calories are in 100 grams of jollof rice. Weigh it and have that. Write it somewhere. Then let's say you pushed it down with some cold soda, like cold cook. Input that as well. Add it. Let's say anything you're putting into your mouth, even when let's say you want to put maybe peanut butter on your bread, remember the one you just, licked from the spoon. Remember that it's also part of it, right? Just here and there. Check everything. Put it all down. And then it will give you an accurate picture of what you're eating versus what you need to eat. So if you were eating 3,500, but your body needs 2,500, you know that you are storing extra 1,000 every day.
Yeah.
And that's 1,000 calories extra that you didn't need, which will be converted into fat.
Yeah.
Now, interesting fact, 3,500 calories equals 1 gram of fat if you were directly converting. So if your body was storing extra 1,000 calories per day, in 3 days or 3.5 days, you will have stored 1 gram of fat. So you do the maths, and you can see how you can slowly trend upwards in terms of weight. But then the flip side is, if you did cut out that 1,000, for example, you would slowly trend downwards as well.
Yeah, there's an energy, is it conservation of energy law that says energy can never be created or destroyed,
Very true.
just transformed from one form to another.
Yep.
So basically, in layman terms, is that the food you eat carries energy.
Yeah.
When it goes into your body, you're not destroying it. It can only be transferred from one form to another, which means you can either use it to do work.
Yeah.
If you don't use that food to do work,
it will store
it in another form, which is i.e. fat. If you are doing some other things, you can store it in another form, which can be muscle.
Yep.
But what you eat, the energy that goes into your body is not destroyed. It goes from one form to another, and that's what shapes the way you look.
Very
the
true.
energy you put in literally is going to bring out the energy of the way you look physically. Your outward look
Pretty
depends
much.
on what you put inside. Is That's the basics of it all.
Yeah. So and then which easily brings us to the whole popular term calorie deficit. When they say a deficit, it just means that you are trying to eat less than your body requires. So you remember that your requirement per day, the 2.5, let's say, for example, a deficit is when you are not eating up to 2.5. If your body needs 2.5 calories per day and you're not eating up to that, you are in a deficit. It's as simple as that. That's the whole calorie deficit. It's not a thing, it's not a trend. It's just the term that they call when something isn't up to what it should be. So, and which would make sense, right? You should be eating 2.5. You checked for 3 days and you found out the first day you were eating 3.5, second day you ate 4K, next day you ate 3.5 worth of calories. You are going way over. So you're trying to find a deficit where you're like, okay, I assume I have been eating 3,500 calories for the longest time because I just didn't know. So now you're trying to find a deficit, like, okay, I wouldn't eat up to 3.5. I would try to eat 3,000 calories, for example. And I would say a good place to start is if you find out that your daily requirement is very far from where you currently are, don't try to go straight
Directly
back
to your
to your
requirements.
requirement. It would be a painful and a difficult process for yourself, for your body. Your body will revolt. So you want to slowly introduce this change. So now, if your requirement to maintain your body currently is 2.5 and you were eating way above that, don't try not to try not to cut off even up to 1,000 calories from your
At a
current
go,
diet
right?
at a
Yeah.
go. Don't do it because
It's not sustainable.
it is not. It's not, especially if you cut it by. I mean, there's smart ways to cut it, but I wouldn't advise 1,000 for sure. Like if let's say you cut off some oil from your food, like instead of using a high
there are
volume.
low hanging fruits that you can do. There are alternative ways for you to eat your food. Like maybe you used to deep fry your plantain, you can air fry it.
Yep.
Those are very quick wins.
Very easy to get. Like
Yeah.
your stew used to have lots of oil on the
Yeah.
top. Like your soup, you would see oil and then you would see the soup. Try to reduce that. Don't deep fry anything. There's nothing that is worth deep frying. Absolutely nothing. Like that's one easy win. If you're someone that loves fried things, congratulations. You just need to not fry those things. You have probably cut off 1,000 calories from your diet.
Yeah,
right?
I think what you're
Easy
trying to
peasy.
say is like, don't starve yourself. Like,
Do not.
don't go to that 1,000 cuts from the volume of food you eat, because your body will revolt. But if it's like, that you
Little.
eat junks here, or you eat oil here, a lot of fat, then those little wins you can
easily cut it, and you might think like, oh, it's just a little bit of oil, but I promise you that little bit of oil can easily be 500 calories in a day.
Yeah.
Right? Your stew doesn't have oil on it on the side. You could have cut off 200 then. And if you think, like, if you doubt it, just check how much calories are in oil.
Yeah.
Like the moment you see it, you will just know that what we're saying is true.
You know that
this is it. You don't. And the reason I say fried foods is like I never say cut off anything, as a whole. But with fried things, I easily say it because you do not need to deep fry anything. Your meat doesn't need to be soaked in oil to fry. You can air fry it. You can oven grill it. Your plantain doesn't need to be soaked in oil. You can air fry it.
There's a difference between fried plantain and I know.
Yeah,
Trust
but
me.
Do you want the stomach or do you want the plantain?
I think
the sacrifice.
I think a sacrifice in taste is what you to look healthy and to feel healthy.
Yeah, and it's not a huge sacrifice in taste. I mean, I used
on
to
who
eat
you
deep
ask.
fried plantain. So the alternative now is for you to start eating ridiculously low portions of food.
Yeah.
So if you were going to eat 10 slices of plantain that is deep fried and it's like full of calories, let's say it's 400 calories just for 10 because it really soaked up oil, and now you have to eat only 2. The alternative is to either do that or to still eat your 10 but not deep fried.
Yeah.
You are still achieving a deficit there because there's less oil. So I think it's smart to cut off the things that you can even do without
Yeah.
anyways. Because even oil is specifically not good for your health, your heart health in
Yeah.
specific. So you don't even want to consume that much oil. So, and still, talking about the huge difference. Don't just start eating salads and start eating, only fruits, and then people go crazy and start, doing water fast. Like they just stop eating for 3 days. No,
The popularity
don't
of
do it.
diets is
Yeah.
also of different kinds of diets is also based on a calorie deficit. The people that
Yes.
come up with these diets, or that format this diets, they know that there's no way you eat this food and you'll
And
be in a surplus.
that is true. So
So
they are all aiming for a calorie
yeah,
deficit.
but they are not coming out to tell you that this is what it is, because they want to
Yeah.
sell. They want to sell the diets to you or whatever
True.
it is. But the aim is
Is
that
to
they know
get a
that
deficit.
there's no way you eat this leaf or whatever it is,
And you will be high
in
calories, because
that's
good luck getting 1,000 calories from your
from
spinach.
right?
Like you will need to eat this, volume of spinach, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't even know. Sometimes when people give you diet, they don't know that it's a deficit there. Like I hear people refer to calorie deficit like it's a thing on its own, not like a phenomenon. It is the process of reducing what you eat, what your body needs. It's not a thing that, like, some people would say, oh, I don't use I didn't use calorie deficit for my own weight
But
loss.
that's
So
what you
how
did.
did you lose
That's the
weight?
only
That's
way you
the
can.
only
The
way,
only way you
right?
can lose weight
Yeah.
is to be in it. Actually, if you eat your exact requirements, you would keep the way you look. The
Simple.
only way you reduce weight is by being in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank. Take it. Only
It is
way
what
you
it
reduce
is.
weight is by being in a calorie deficit. That
Yeah.
that is all it is. All that being said, so Rolly, can you just give us a quick summary of calories? I mean, just in case people don't watch everything we've been saying, watch it, please. But in case you just jump to the end so that you still go away with something, can you just summarize, calories, how it ties into weight loss and weight gain, and then some quick wins you can do to balance out your calories?
Okay. So too long didn't read, too long didn't watch.
You should.
You should watch it, but what your takeaway should be: weight loss is trying to burn. It's your body burning more calories than it takes in. And if you're thinking, what is calories? Calories is the energy you get from food. It's just measured in calories. So whatever it is you're eating, they all have calories attached to it, except water. Water has no calories. But in terms of food, there's a number of calories you eat in a day, and there's a number of calories that your body needs. If those two numbers are too far apart, you'll find yourself adding weight. But when you've already added the weight, how do you come back to where you should be? You're thinking reduction of calories. So you slowly reduce those calories until it gets to the number that you should have been in. How do you find the number in the first place? You should Google it, check online. It will probably ask for your height, your weight, and your current activity level, age. Yeah. And it will give you a number. So that number is a good estimate. So you try to keep your calories close to that number as much as possible. Now, you notice we didn't really mention exercise. That's because exercise does matter, but it's not the driving factor.
For weight loss.
What drives how you look boils down to the food. So it's always the food. You need to know what you eat. Like, do a deep dive, study what you're eating, weigh your portions, check how much calories is in what. And then easy way to reduce your calories will be reduce amount of oils, reduce your portion. Don't try to overhaul your diet in one day. It wouldn't work. It's not sustainable. Just try to reduce your portions, not by a huge quantity. If you're eating a whole plate of food, try to eat three quarters of it. Don't reduce it even to half. Three quarters of it is something. And if you normally take like soda, try to avoid those. And an easy way that I find works is when you put a plate of food and you have soda beside you to eat it. Eat the food first. Drink a whole glass or
water.
2 glasses of water. So by the time you finish the food and then you drink the water, and if you still have space, then maybe you can take some of the soda. But usually you would find that you would be too full to even want the soda, and then you're like, okay, I'll take it later in the evening. And before you know, you start pushing that out. So yeah, good
I
summary.
think my major takeaway for you is to understand that you can lose weight without one day in the gym. Like,
That is true.
the first thing you need to do, or the ultimate thing you need to do to take control of the way you look, is your diet. Your calorie intake has to be on check.
Yeah.
That's my major takeaway for you. And I would say my challenge to you for moving forward, if you want to take your weight gain or weight loss seriously, is you should, okay, if you want to reduce your weight, if you want to reduce your weight, my challenge to you is to say, going forward, go with Rolly's number one first win, which is reduce the intake of what you eat currently.
Yeah.
What you eat currently, keep it. Don't skip a meal, but just reduce your portion as slightly as you can, and gradually. And then you can continue to implement the other tips that we gave you.
Yeah. And another thing I have, like a take home, do what you currently eat. Try to figure out how many calories you currently eat, and please put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Or send us an email if you're shy. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
I think you should first estimate how much you normally eat
on a regular day before even trying to reduce
Yes, and then send us both numbers of what you thought. Actually, send us 3 numbers. Send us what you think your requirement is.
Yes.
Send us the estimate of what you think you take. And then after you've counted for 2-3 days, send us the number of what it actually is.
Yeah.
And then once you do that exercise, you would be able to align yourself and say, this is where I should be. This is where I shouldn't be, basically. I think we have a question from Ahmed.
We do. So in the previous episode, someone asked a question, and the person said, I stumbled on this. This is a good piece. Thank you. I have a question. It is often difficult for Nigerians, African, or by extension, Asian immigrants to eat local food, thereby eating junks and by extension adding weight, even though they often work harder and longer, myself included. My question or suggestion for your subsequent podcast is how African immigrants avoid adding weight and eating safe with new cuisines. So this is from Ahmed Lawal.
Thank you
Ahmed very
Lawal.
much for the question.
Appreciate it.
And
I like the question.
Yeah,
for
lovely
2 reasons.
Question.
For 2 reasons. Because one, it gives us, is a segue into a topic we're going to cover in the future, which is diets as a whole. And then because it ties back into this episode that we've just spoken about. I see that I mentioned junk food there. Yes, junk is generally not good for you, but the reason why you're adding weight is not because you're eating junk food.
Not in itself, no.
Exactly not. It is a factor. The reason why you're adding weight is because the calories in those junk food is more than the amount of calorie you burn in a day. So if you happen to, some people eat junk food, that's all they do, and they are not overweight.
Yes.
Because they burn that calorie every day.
You can be eating your local food and still gain weight. And this is because your local food can also have excess calories. It can have more calories than you need. Basically, junk food is a problem, but I think and if you're wondering like, oh, I was eating my local food before I moved here and I didn't gain weight. The difference now is you're probably not just eating only your local food. You're probably eating things that are, here as well. So maybe you're mixing it, or you just completely move to their food. And the quantity of food, the quantity of calories in the quantity of food is not what you are used to. So if you were used to eating your local food, you're probably eating a high volume and the calorie in itself is not as much. But then junk food, you have small quantities that are very high in calorie. So it still, ties back to the fact that you have to know your numbers. You have to know the calories in the foods you eat, just for you to have the information. It doesn't mean you wouldn't still eat those foods. Just means now you're aware. So if you were eating burger with fries and soda and
So
a
now,
good mix. Now you're thinking, oh, probably I should skip the fries,
yeah.
or skip the soda, just eat only the burger, because now you know the whole the number as a whole is like 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
but only the burger might just be 800
yeah.
or 500, something like that. So yeah, and hopefully we will do an episode, about the other part,
Which is the diet.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
I really like this episode. I think we gave a good amount of useful content.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you in the
On the
next
next
one.
episode.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.